Hey BookTube, this is Mickey, and I am here today to do an Outbox video. But before I get into that, I just wanted to say thank you guys for all of the great feedback and all of the great comments and all of the great conversations that were had in the comments for my video on my review of Ghetto Side and talking about issues on Black Lives Matter. I am so happy that we were able to kind of have like actual dialogue about this and not like resort to name calling or anything like that. Like I was really scared when I put the video out at first because I thought that it might attract people who are I don't know. I thought it might attract like negativity and negative comments, but I feel like there were some really great conversations and things that were started underneath the video, and I saw a bunch of response videos, and I'm just really happy that we are talking about this more, and hopefully we can continue to talk about this more and continue to grow as a community. I'm trying to compile a list of books that I think that people should read if they want to know more about race in America. It's a little hard for me because I read mostly fiction, and so I feel like I should have more nonfiction titles, but I don't really have that many because I haven't read that many. So that'll be something I will be correcting in the next year or so. But yeah, I'm gonna create a list of books that maybe shed some light on the way that race works, particularly in America, and the different facets of life that it still affects today. Because I think we believe really strongly, there's lots of people who believe really strongly that those issues are things of the past, and they aren't. So I would like to sort of find books and things that sort of show that. But that would be a later video. Today's video is just an update video on the things that I have read over the past like 6 weeks. And I have not read a lot over the past 6 weeks. I have been in a bit of a reading slump, partially because of like I've been really busy and a lot of stuff has come up. A lot of stuff has just come up, and there's been like a lot of like stress and things. And also because of like one of the books that I was reading during this time period kind of put me in a bit of a slump. I'll talk about that book later. But yeah, these are the books that I finished in the last 6 weeks, and then I'm going to show you the books that I plan to read this week. I am joining the 7 and 7 readathon about a day late, but I think I'm going to try it because I think it might be a good way to get me out of this reading slump that I've been in. So I'll have kind of like I guess you can call it a mini TBR for that. So the first book that I finished recently was An Untamed State by Roxane Gay, and I finished this several weeks ago, and it was great. I liked it. It was a pretty solid read, but there were a lot of things that I had like little issues with. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The book is about Muriel, who is a Haitian American, and she is visiting Haiti, visiting her parents in Haiti, and she is kidnapped and held for ransom. And it's about the horrors that she suffers in captivity and then the aftermath of that. It is very gruesome. At times, it is very explicit and very violent. So that's just something to know. It's pretty graphic, and so that's something for you to know when you go into this book. There were lots of things that I liked, but every time I found something that I liked, I feel like I also found there was like a but to it. Like for instance, I liked the complicated relationship that Muriel has to Haiti. I thought that that was really interesting, especially considering her status as a wealthy Haitian American, and then going to Haiti and being surrounded by so much poverty and the sort of guilt that comes with that. I really liked that, but I felt like the book didn't focus that much on that. I wanted to know more about her relationship with Haiti and what she felt about her country, and I wanted to know more about that guilt that comes with being a very wealthy person in a place that experiences such extreme poverty. And we didn't get that. I really liked the relationship between her and her husband Michael, I think his name was. Let me look. Yes, Michael. But I felt like there was way too much of it, and I kind of wish that some of the chapters and some of the sections that were focused on her relationship with Michael had to focus maybe more on her relationship with her parents, since her parents are one of the strongest links she has to Haiti. So I feel like we got like Michael helps us establish her relationship with America, and I feel like if we had seen more of her relationship with her parents, we would have a better idea of her relationship with Haiti. So I wish there had been more of less of the love in the relationship, even though I liked some of it, and more of that. I also have to admit that I was kind of really annoyed by the character of Muriel. Because she fits into this trope that I'm not a big fan of, which is the very difficult to love woman, especially when it's a black woman, because it's just like an irritating stereotype that I feel like I grew up with, and it just kind of really bothers me. She is like, she's very emotionally unavailable. She throws tantrums whenever someone tries to get her to open up and or be vulnerable. She makes her husband like jump through all kinds of hoops in order to be with her. And like I remember growing up, I felt like that was something that I was taught that we were supposed to do as women. Like I was taught that you're not supposed to make it easy for a man to love you. If you make it easy for a man to love you, you're doing it wrong. And that was something that was kind of pushed down my throat as a kid and growing up as a teenager. And I felt like I also saw it a lot in the media, and it just is a very unhealthy and negative way to think about love. About love, and I just kind of didn't like that, especially because there's no explanation for why she is this way. Lanisha, who I buddy read this with, brought up a really great point. Like she kind of acts like a traumatized woman before she is actually kidnapped and assaulted. Like the way that she reacts to people who want her to be vulnerable, and the way that she reacts to someone trying to get close to her is like someone who's been traumatized previously, but we don't hear of any previous trauma, so it doesn't really make sense. So anyways, those are all the things that I kind of didn't like about the book. It is a decent read, and I wouldn't discourage anybody from reading it. I think that Roxane Gay is a really great writer. Like, the prose in this I thought was fabulous. I think that there's a really great novel in her, and I do look forward to reading more from her. This was fine. It wasn't necessarily the best thing I've read, but it definitely was a solid read. Next thing I read, same feelings I kind of had towards that, is Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. I also don't have a lot to really say about this book. I liked it, and that's pretty much all I can say. I thought the gothic atmosphere was captured really well. I liked the characters. I guessed the first plot twist, but I didn't guess the second one. So I was like, it was nice to be surprised by something, and I thought it was great. The only issue I kind of had is that there are dual storylines in this, where we see events from one character's point of view and then we see events from another character's point of view. And I found that when we were seeing some of the same events from a different point of view, it felt a lot like we were just rehashing the same points over and over again. And I got really bored, and so that was one of the things that I think I would take off of this. But otherwise, I like this, and I'd like to probably read more from Sarah Waters. I wasn't necessarily blown away by this particular book, but I think that she is probably a really fantastic writer, and I would like to read more from her. The next thing that I finished over the past couple of weeks is The Story of a New Name by Elena Ferrante. I absolutely love this. I am going to be filming a separate review for this book because I have a whole lot to say about it, but it was great. It's the second book in the Neapolitan series, and I just really, really loved it. It takes a little while to get going. It's a little slow in the beginning, but once it gets going, it is like fantastic. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I definitely would recommend it. And so far, the whole series, because I've only read 2 books, but so far I'm really into the series and look forward to reading the 3rd book. Fourth thing that I finished is So Sad Today by Melissa Broder. It is an essay collection about personal essays by Broder about her struggles with anxiety and depression and addiction and all these other sort of mental disorders. And I thought it was pretty good. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It didn't necessarily blow me away, but there were definitely things about it that I really liked. One of the things I loved about it is that it's a very vulgar essay collection. And when I say that, I don't mean like she's just she has no problem like presenting herself in the most negative light possible. Has no problem admitting that I'm a really effed up shallow human being at times, and here are the ways that my effed up shallowness shows itself. And I thought that was really, really brave of her and really, really honest, and she does a really good job of capturing how self-absorbed you can kind of be when you are in a state of depression or anxiety. You know, you just really can't get outside of your own head, and so you're constantly thinking about yourself, or you're thinking about how other people view you, or how you look to other people, and it's just a constant like it's a kind of absorption. Oh my god, I can't say it. It's a kind of self-absorption. It's a negative self-absorption, but it's still there, and she does a good job of sort of capturing that, and I thought that was good. The essays did start to run together after a while, and I did start to get kind of bored with them, but it's still worth picking up, so I would recommend that. So those are the 4 books that I've completed so far this summer. And then here are the books that I plan on reading over the next week for the 7 and 7 readathon. 7 and readathon is a readathon where you're expected to read 7 books in 7 days. I don't remember who started the readathon. I'm going to put it in the description box below. Like, this is literally a very last minute decision to do this. I think I did it last year though, or the year before, or something like that. So this is like my first time doing it. But yeah, so here are the 7 books that I want to try and get through during this week. So the first one is this one here, which is The Wind Done Gone by Alice Randall. So if you saw my previous video, you know that I was reading Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind was a book that kind of put me in a reading slump. I'm probably going to actually film a separate video about that because I have a lot to say about it, but it was like just really hard for me to keep reading that book. It just kept getting really offensive sometimes, and in light of like the current climate, like it ain't the right time to be reading Gone with the Wind. I am DNFing it for the moment. And hopefully, I don't know, I might end up DNFing it for good, to be quite honest. I'm not sure, but yeah, it put me in a reading slump. But this so far is fantastic. I'm about halfway through it, and I did not expect to like this at all, to be quite honest, because I had heard a lot of really bad things about this book. I had not heard a lot of really good news. I don't think I've heard anything good about it. So I was surprised at how much I liked it. It is well written. I really love the prose style of it. Sometimes I don't know. it just seems it's really great. It's from the point of view in this story. It's Sinara I think her name is Sinara. I don't know how to say this, but Sinara is the sister of Scarlett O'Hara. She is the child of Scarlett's father and Mammy, and this is sort of looking at Sinara's and her relationship with Mammy and her relationship with Scarlett is particularly since Mammy is kind of in a position where she is kind of forced to take care of Scarlett and love on Scarlett in ways that she never is able to do for her own child, and it sort of looks at their relationship, and there's a whole bunch of like other things that's going on in it. It's really fascinating. I'm liking it. It's really short. I should be able to finish this by the end of this week, and I'll let you guys know what my overall impression is. But I'm reading this. Then I am reading Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. This is a reread for me. My library just got it into their used bookstore. I've been putting it on hold for like 2 years, which basically means that I put in a hold request so that if they do get a copy of this, they'll put it aside for me and call me and let me get it. And it finally came in. I finally have my own copy of it because I had a copy previously, but it was like my aunt's old copy and it was falling to pieces. I ended up having to throw it away. So I'm super happy to have this. I started reading it immediately after I got it because I think nothing fixes a reading slump more than reading a old favorite, and I really needed to reread this because Stephanie from Time to Read had left me a message a long time ago talking about her reaction she was having to this scene in the book, and like I felt really bad because one, I didn't hear the message until like 2 weeks after she had left it, and then two, I actually couldn't remember the scene that she was talking about. I was like, she was like, what do you think about what's happening here? And I was like, I didn't have an answer because I couldn't remember it. So I'm definitely due for a reread of this. So far, it is just mind-blowingly beautiful. I read it like 10 years ago, and I loved it then, and I think I'm going to love it now. So this is the second book that I hope to finish during this week. And then the next book is the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child book by J.K. Rowling. That just blocked out my face. I'm going to put it down. And yeah, I didn't expect to be able to get this book this fast. I checked it out from the library. I thought it was going to have like a million holes and I was probably not going to be able to get to it till like the end of the month. But I got a call. I got a little email saying, hey, it's available for you today. I'm not going to lie. I'm really skeptical about this, you guys. I'm not the type of person who like mourns a story once it's over. Like once it's over, I'm usually good at accepting it. Especially in the case of Harry Potter, where I feel like J.K. Rowling really wrapped everything up really well and perfectly. So haven't really been longing for more Harry, even though I really love the series. Like I've literally read the series from start to finish like once a year for the past like 5 years or so. So I really do love the series, but I wasn't that excited when I heard that this book was coming out, and I got some doubts, lots of doubts, especially because this is a play. And despite popular belief, plays are very different from prose. There's a lot of different things that happens in a play versus prose. And plays are like really in my wheelhouse. I went to school for playwriting. I write plays. I'm in a theater company. Like it's a big part of my life. And so I feel like I might be a little harsher on this than most readers would be because of like my own background. So I'll let you guys know how it is. We shall see. I don't need to tell you what this is about because everybody knows. And then the next couple of books are just some graphic novels that I plan on reading. So the first one is Saga Volume 3. And then the next one is Why the Last Man, book called Why the Last Man Cycles, book 2. And then Sex Criminals Volume 1, One Weird Trick. And then the last one is Relish, My Life in the Kitchen by Lucy Neasley. I picked this one up because I'm trying to do the Book Riot Read Harder challenge, and one of the challenges is to read a food memoir. So that's exactly what this is, and it has a nice blurb from Alison Bechdel, who wrote Fun Home, which I really liked. So I'm excited about getting a chance to read this. And so those are all the things that I want to try and read during the week. If you guys are participating in the 7 to 7 readathon, let me know below. Let me know what you're reading. Maybe put links to your TBR videos if you made them. If you read any of the books that I've read over the past couple of weeks, let me know what you thought of those books below. And just let me know what you guys have been reading, what you guys have been up to. Happy to be back. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.